It's Thursday, the 9th of March, 2017, and you're listening to Skeptics with a K again, the podcast for science, reason, and critical thinking. This is the second intro that we've recorded for this show because
At least we realised during the intro.
We did. We just did like the first 5 minutes of the show, and then realised we hadn't actually switched the fucking recorder.
You had the recorder set to pause. Mike has become an idiot, essentially.
Yes.
Well, Mike is eating packing crate peanuts.
I'm tired. I'm not sleeping. I'm incredibly stressed at work, and I've taken to eating packing peanuts.
Yeah,
so
biodegradable ones that are like white Wotsits.
They're still not good for you. Don't eat them.
You don't know that.
They're almost certainly indigestible.
Almost
if nothing
certainly.
else, they're laxatives.
So we were talking about off air, apparently, the fact that we had recently done an escape room.
We did. I made a lot of hilarious links between escape rooms and Trump's America. Yeah, the Muslim ban is just a big escape room.
It was hysterical.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Lost to the cutting room floor. That's not going to win any podcast awards, is it?
It's not even on the cutting room floor. It didn't even make it. As far as the cutting room.
The cutting room floor. It's 3 inches off the cutting room floor.
So we did an escape room, which was fun. It was for Warren's birthday. He said, let's go to an escape room. So a big bunch of us went down to an escape room. So for listeners who don't know, the escape rooms are a thing that's kind of sprung up in several cities.
I think most listeners will know.
Recently. I think so. I think it's probably fairly well known, fairly well regarded. It's a place you go to, and it's a room, and they lock you into the room, and you've got an hour to escape, and you escape by solving various puzzles. Yeah. So basically, as you described it on the day, Marsh, you're locked into a room designed by somebody with a lock fetish.
Exactly. Yes.
It
There's
does
lots and lots of them.
They're all themed around. I've got lots of different types of locks. That's the theme of the room. Is man has lots of locks, and woman has lots of locks.
It's like the cowboy themed room is a cowboy with a lock fetish.
It is.
The pirate themed room is there's a pirate with a lock fetish. So you have to solve these various puzzles, which usually involve locks, in order to escape from these
that's
rooms.
L-O-C-K, not L-O-C-H.
No.
And it's not lock in the sense
many
of...
many different lakes.
Yeah, it's also not lock in the
there.
sense of the gate that you get in rivers in order to allow canal boards to be raised up to a higher level.
Oh, that would be a hell of an escape room if they actually managed to get
just a load of locks
an actual
in there.
Canal lock in there.
Oh, that would be a nightmare.
So that was good. So I was in a different room to you guys. So I was in a room with...
I really wanted to split us up so we had swag people on each team, but Warren said it was about his birthday and not about us having
You see, the thing Warren has to understand is that his birthday evening was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, whereas the story we tell on the show will live on the internet forever.
I think that's it. He also has to understand that most of us only keep personal relationships in order to get material for the show.
For the show.
It's the only reason I got married is for the what have you been up to lately section of the show.
For the bants on the show.
Yeah.
So we were in separate rooms. So I was in a kind of piratey themed room where we were having to escape with the cursed pearls that the ghost of Captain Fuckface was trying to stop you getting.
Did you get the cursed pearls out?
We did. We got the cursed pearls. We escaped.
Because you didn't seem to have any cursed pearls on you when you left the room.
No, well, because we left, and I was kind of fiddling with the cursed pearls, and the one of the staff said, "I'll just take those off you." There you go. Have the cursed pearls. I wanted a photo with the cursed pearls, wearing them around my neck. And the cursed pearls, the way the cursed pearls open the door is they had a little fob attached to them that you scanned and it would unlock the door.
Nice,
which was good. So I was in that room with Emma, who was on the show, on the Drunk Show, and
will return to the show in future.
She will. And I'm looking forward to that. So with Emma and with her sister Karen. So we were in there and with Lana as well, and that was a fun little thing. We hurtled through that room. The staff were very impressed. I was devastated when I came out and did the maths and realised we were a minute and a half off the record for that room.
And
I was so annoyed at that because there was one puzzle in there that I kind of looked at and said, no, probably not. And left it, and it turned out my intuition on it was right. And if I'd spent more than 5 fucking seconds thinking about it, we'd have been out there at least 5 minutes earlier than we were, and I was so fucking annoyed at myself and everyone in the world for that. But that was marvellous fun. So which room were you guys in?
We were in the Cursed Carnival room, partly because I like really creepy things, and it sounded creepy. It wasn't that creepy.
It wasn't that creepy. It just meant there was a unicycle.
There were some creepy little dolls. Like, if people have fears of dolls, then there were some creepy dolls.
Yeah, but if people had fears of, like, tables, it would have been creepy because there was a couple of tables in there. You can't legislate for irrational fears.
I don't think a unicycle maketh a carnival.
There was more carnival-y stuff. There's like a tombola and a weird little table that they make popcorn in normally.
Yeah, there was one of those. Some monkeys.
Some little
not actual monkeys, wooden monkeys.
No.
So we would have got out quite quick. Not relatively quick. We were out relatively quick, but we would have got out much quicker ourselves. Except there was a bit where you had to put loads of wooden monkey statues in places on a shelf in the right order.
Right.
And we put them all in the right order and we're like, right, what do we do now? What do we do now? No idea where. There must be a key to the door. As I think. And no, it turns out we spent ages and we got a little message up on the screen saying, make sure the monkeys are properly in place. And there was one monkey that was like half an inch out and had a magnet on the bottom. It was like, click, the door opened. Oh, fuck off.
We didn't really talk to each other the whole time.
No, we didn't need
to.
Just did our own thing.
Puzzles.
Yeah.
Just
and
nailed
then
it one by
shouted
one.
numbers at each other to try all the locks.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It was me, you, Laurie and Ange, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it.
So the whole board.
The whole board minus
the
you.
The whole Merseyside Skeptics board
so
except
Ange was
for
like,
me was in that room.
If we get out quicker than Mike, it's clearly Mike who's been slowing us down.
Okay.
But you did. But we didn't.
But you didn't.
So clearly, you're the driving force of the board.
I mean, I'll take that.
Have you come out of this now thinking I could make an escape room? Because you did come out of the Laser Quasar Laser Quest thinking I could make a Laser Quasar Laser Quest.
I mean, you could make an escape. The way the escape room works, as far as I can see, is you have some final puzzle.
Yeah.
And then the key to that final puzzle you lock in a box.
Yes.
The key to that box you lock in a different box.
Yeah.
The key to that box you lock in a different box.
Yeah.
Etc. 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 And then all the way back to a very easy puzzle at the start.
Yes.
And that's how you build an escape room.
It took us unnecessarily long to get through the first little foyer.
It did take us a while.
We had a door and then another door, like immediately beyond that door, and it took us quite a long time to find the key to that door. There was only one shelf with a few things on it.
There was 3 music boxes in it, like kind of thing.
Right.
And Adge picked up one of them and ran it through. It was like, nothing on there. And then we looked at all the rest, and we went back to the one that Adge picked up. It was like, oh no, the monkey in it is holding a key. There was actually a key in there, so that would have sorted it.
Unlocked a box which gave us a key to the door.
Nicola was slightly annoyed that she didn't come first because Nicola's very competitive.
She's very competitive, Nicola. She is.
And she didn't come first. And she was like, fuck. When she got out and saw everyone else sort of sat there for a bit.
I remember sitting there after, I'd got out and you guys had got out and we're sitting there and it was like, oh, shit, Nick's last. Oh, shit, this isn't going to end well.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
But then she came running out with a pigeon on her head.
She did come out running with
head.
a pigeon inside on her head.
Which I enjoyed immeasurably. And there is photographs kicking about somewhere.
Of Nicola as a pigeon.
I haven't actually put them online yet. We'll have to share them from the MSS account or something.
Nicola as a pigeon. But that was marvellous fun. I enjoyed
it was good fun.
Great,
it was a good laugh.
We also went to see Josie Long.
We did go and see Josie Long and Bridget Christie.
And Bridget Christie.
We didn't all go to see
Mike,
Bridget Christie.
you had tickets to Bridget Christie.
I did have tickets to Bridget Christie.
You weren't at Bridget Christie?
No, I wasn't. No.
Why is that?
It turns out I'd completely forgotten about it. Completely forgotten about it. And then I'm driving home, and my phone goes ping. And I look at my Apple Watch because I'm driving, so I can't look at the thing. And there's you going, "Are you here?" And I kind of went, am I meant to be somewhere? I've got to. I think there was a show. Was I meant to be at a show? Was I going to a show? And Katie goes, no, you were at the show the other day. You went to Josie Long. It was like, and it was like, no. I think it was a different show. Was it a different show? I've got a feeling it was a show. Was it at the Playhouse? Was I meant to be at the Playhouse? There might be tickets by the door for something at the Play. I wonder if that's tonight. Maybe that's so. I got home. I opened it up. Bridget Christie. At door 7:30. I looked at my watch. 7:45.
You'd have still been all right. I tried to tell you that because she did like half an hour of like noodling around stuff as a warm up, and then she went off for 20 minutes, and then came back on and did the hour show. So you'd have still been all right to get back for the hour show.
Yeah, I might have been, but at this point, I was shattered. I was pissed off at myself and at life. And I just, fuck it. And I went
You've
to
missed
bed.
that show of hers twice now.
Yes.
Having had tickets both occasions.
It's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
It's an absolute
It is terrible.
fucking disgrace. But we did go and see Josie Long.
We did.
Who I enjoyed Josie Long very much. I thought I've never
was
seen
great.
Josie Long live, except at TAM. Actually.
Yeah, we saw her at TAM London, but even then it was only a very short.
Yeah, she
bit
was on and off
doing.
at TAM.
Yeah, it was just wasn't really enough chance to get to see anything basically there.
I enjoyed Josie.
And that was
Long
also
a lot.
7 years ago now, 8 years ago.
Yeah,
now?
it was a long time
So
ago.
I think she's changed. Her act certainly changed quite a bit in that time.
Yeah.
I think.
But you guys went to see Bridget Christie. So how was that?
Amazing.
Was that good?
Yeah, Bridget Christie's amazing.
Was it better than both Josie Long and The Escape Room and anything else we've ever done? And I missed it. Is that what you're saying? It was the best thing that we've ever done ever.
It was very good.
It was better than the last QED.
Yes, by miles.
And I wasn't there. Is
Yes,
that what you're saying?
that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm
Okay.
saying. No, if anyone has a chance to see Bridget Christie or Josie Long, actually, I'd highly recommend both of them. They're absolutely fantastic acts. But yeah, if you get the chance, go and see them. And especially
Josie Long's in Liverpool soon, actually.
she is. That's true. Yeah.
She might have been already. No, she's next week. As
Next
of this
week.
going out, I think,
Okay.
There you go.
at the Epstein Theatre.
People go and see that, or Bridget Christie. People might not know her stuff, but she does the show ostensibly is about gardening. But really, she's there trying to talk about her plants and her love of gardening, but she keeps getting distracted by talking about Brexit, and never actually tells a joke about gardening at any point, really, or barely does. But no, it's really good. She's absolutely fantastic. The other thing I want to sort of bring up in the introduction, and this is something that'll annoy you, Mike, or you'll kind of get why this irritates me. I was walking through Liverpool town centre on Sunday with Nicola, and walked past group of religious people talking to people. They're all smiling, white shirts, black ties. I thought, Mormons. And they were all sort of smiling and being very happy, and everyone was kind of like chatting to them, and they seemed like they were all right.
Not Daniel Mormons on the street telling people bullshit about the placebo effect.
Not Daniel Mormons, no. That's a niche reference to people who only know placebo effect researchers. I didn't connect with it initially. That's fine. Not mermans. They were half man, half fish, knocking about on there, telling them all about
on the street, pitching tridents.
Exactly.
How nice tridents are. Turns out that's why we renewed it.
We did, because they're lovely. It's a strong Merman lobby.
Lobbying from Merman.
No, it was. So there were some Mormons, then they were having a chat, and we were just talking about Mormons, and I was sort of saying, like, yeah, I mean, Mormons, they seem fine in person, and I'm sure they're very lovely people, but the history of that religion, even over the last 200 years, is nuts beyond the stuff that was even in South Park. And as I was midway through that, there's another bunch of religious people there with a little wooden stand with a little lid lifted up, and on the lid is a picture of 6 celebrities. And it was Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, Robin Williams, Marilyn Monroe, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I forget who the 6th one was.
Nice.
And it says on it, what do these people all have in common?
All celebrities?
Yeah, I don't think that's what they were going for.
No.
And I went, oh, fuck off. And I was literally stood there going, oh, fuck off. That's such a shitty thing to do.
Right.
And one of them walked over and was like, sorry, why do you think this is a bad thing to do? Like, well, why have you chosen 6 people who either committed suicide or died due to substance abuse at too young an age for what we would have expected?
Yeah.
Well, why do you think we've chosen them? So, no, you've chosen them. Why is that? Well, I just think, when you're looking for something and you have, like, everyone wants to have stuff in their lives, and I think if you don't have something in your life, you can sometimes feel like there's a gap there, and sometimes that means that you want to go out and kind of... And I said, no, what you're trying to say here, let's face it, you're saying, had they had Jesus, they wouldn't have died young. That's what you're saying. And he said, and he tried to wheedle around it. I said, can you not see how emotionally manipulative and reprehensible that actually is? So I don't think it is. I think it's absolutely fine. I think it's not a problem at all. I said, all right, then you're walking down the street and you see a picture of your brother who committed suicide on a stand for someone saying this guy would still be alive if they believed the thing that I do and the thing that he didn't. You feel fine about that, do you? He said, well, I'd be all right about that. I'd see that as an opportunity.
Really?
And I said, okay, so there's a picture of your brother, and there's a stand there saying your brother died because he didn't have Allah in his life. He followed Christianity. He should have followed Islam, and that's why he died, and that's what was missing, and he would still be here if he was Muslim, and you'd be fine with that. I said, yeah, I think that would be an opportunity for us to then have a conversation about what we believe. I said, okay, so it's an atheist stand then that says this person died spending their entire life thinking of an afterlife which isn't going to come. They wasted their life, and had they been able to embrace the life that they have now, they would have led a fulfilling life in the time that they were alive that might have been good to the people around you. You're okay with that as well, are you? Oh, well, no, not that, because there's no evidence that atheism's true.
Right, okay.
And so we started then having the conversation about evidence.
But he's okay with if it was Muslims.
Uh-huh.
So he thinks there is evidence that Islam is true?
Don't know.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, we didn't get to that. And then we started just having a conversation about because when he said there's no evidence that atheism is true, Nicola went, ha! Very loudly. And Nicola doesn't get involved in those conversations, but she laughed in his face. And I thought, oh, that's not ideal. Because now he's going to say, okay, then, give me some evidence that it's true.
I like Nicola more to hang out with. The more I hear about Nicola, the more I like her.
So then obviously he went down the line of kind of, well, come on, you think that atheism's true, give me some evidence. So I sort of steered him away from that and started talking about the evidence that Christianity's wrong.
That's a reversal of burden proof.
Completely, yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. But yeah, what absolute shitty thing to do. Because the thing is, if he wants to be out in the street proselytizing, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a good thing to do, especially when you never get these people saying, I'm on the street, as people walking past, God loves you. Have you considered turning to Jesus? Because Jesus loves you. Jesus wants you to have a great life. Jesus thinks you're great. Jesus wants nothing but love in your life. Everything you do with love because of God. I wouldn't have as much a problem with that. But you don't get that. You are going to hell. Here are the reasons you're a sinner. Here is why you'll burn in the afterlife. Here are 6 people who are dead now who should still be alive had they turned to this God that I believe in. The most kind of aggressive kind of nasty messaging. And so we had this kind of long conversation. At the end, he was sort of saying, well, I just think it's a shame that you didn't take this chance to engage with somebody who wants to keep you out of your grave.
Whoa.
Like, you condescending prick. It's not even, I want to keep you out of this grave. It's a shame you missed this opportunity. You didn't take this opportunity to engage with someone who just wants to keep you out of your grave.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's horrendous.
It is horrendous.
That's absolutely horrendous. Did the Mormons get involved?
They didn't. They were further down.
Were they too
smiling
busy?
At people? Yeah.
Because it might be like the original Doom. Like if you run between them at the right angle, they'll start fighting each other. They start.
That's true.
Watch them right. It's golden plates. It's not fucking golden plates. What are you talking about?
I should have asked the Mormons to baptize all 6 dead people there and say, well, there you go. Yeah, they had God in their life and they're still dead. Oh, what a nightmare, right?
What a disgrace. There was one other thing that we've been up to recently, which was Marsh. You were on the Geologic podcast.
I've been on several podcasts lately. Actually, I've been around a fair bit. I was on the Geologic podcast, the 500th live episode, 500th show live thing.
Now, I love the Geologic podcast. It's one of my favourite podcasts. It's one of the podcasts that I listen to as soon as it comes up.
One of the few podcasts you actually listen to.
I listen to fewer and fewer podcasts as time goes on because I just don't have the fucking time. But
too busy eating packing crates.
I'm too busy eating packing peanuts. That's the problem. You were on the Geologic podcast for George's 500th show. 500 shows. Can you imagine when we're going to get to 500 shows?
It'll take twice as long as him.
I mean, it will.
Yeah.
I mean, we're nearly up to 200 shows. We should maybe do something. Should we do a party? Should we do a party? We'll do the 500 show.
Let's do a live show and have a few drinks. That's always good.
That never backfired on us
Never
at all.
backfired.
But 500 shows is an obscene amount of content to have produced. And I'm a huge fan of George's show since well before when I was involved in skepticism. I was listening to George's show. I was listening to him on. I think I first came across George on the 365 Days of Astronomy podcast, where he did the theme tune for that.
Yeah.
And then I saw the video for the theme tune, and I saw this guy in the video who looked like Aid Edmondson.
Or a bit like you with glasses.
And I thought, who's this guy who looks like Aid Edmondson? And, it turned out it was George, and he had a show, and I listened to his show, and, I've listened to the entirety of his show, and I've really enjoyed it. So he's done 500 shows, and you were on the thing talking about the time that we went around Liverpool.
Yes.
Which was looking at statues of Queen Victoria and hanging out at all the Beatles stuff. There was more Beatles stuff, actually, that we should have taken him to that I'd forgotten about.
Was that like the John Lennon house or the Ringo Starr house?
No, what I was thinking of was the Eleanor Rigby's grave.
Oh.
So up, I think it's St. Peter's Church.
Yeah.
There is a grave of someone who died in 1958. Might even have been 1948. Somebody called Eleanor Rigby who died next to the grave of somebody called so-and-so Mackenzie, which these graves were rediscovered, as it were, in the 80s, according to Wikipedia. by like people who were like, oh shit, this actually says Eleanor Rigby, and it turns out that this graveyard was where Paul and John used to hang out in this graveyard. They'd go sunbathing because there's a nice bit of grass there, so they'd go sunbathing on this bit of graveyard. And it wasn't a deliberate reference to the graves. What Paul says is that the name must have just stuck in his head.
Oh,
and
really?
when he needed a name for a song, that was the name that came to mind. He didn't know where it had come from, but it turned out it had come from this gravestone at a place where he used to hang out where he was a kid. Should have completely taken George there. I think that would have blown his fucking mind.
Yeah.
But what really surprised me is Vaco, who did the orchestration for some of the Broad Street score, which is George's string quartet version of several of his albums. And I love George's album. I've got all of George's albums. I love George as a musician. But Vaco turns out to be a big fan of this show.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Which is ridiculous, because there's much better shows to listen to, like George's, for example.
He's also a big fan of George's show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know which one he ranks. I do know which one he ranks ahead of.
We all know which one he ranks ahead of.
We definitely know that. But Vaco listens to this show, and I've heard Vaco's stuff that he's done for the Broad Street score that George has put out in the show, and I like that. So that's good. So I want to say, hey, Vaco.
Nice. That's your long way around.
That was a big
hello
build-up
to a listener.
To, hey, individual one-person listener.
Well, that's good. I mean, we'll just take it one listener at a time, shall we?
One at a time.
Yeah, on each subsequent future episode, we'll find one listener that you give like a 10-minute rambling way of saying hello to.
Up to saying hello to a single listener. So, hey, Vaco, how you doing, mate? Maybe see you at QED or something.
This is how you talk to people? You don't talk to people face-to-face in person?
No, I record messages, because if Vaco shows up at a QED, I don't want him to just fucking speak to me. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke.
You do.
I'm sure he's a lovely bloke.
If he says hello, you'll be happy.
Yeah, if he says hello, I'll feign being happy. Yeah, which is what I do when listeners say hello.
If he jumps straight into the middle of a conversation with you about something that isn't about you, because I've seen you be fairly comfortable with people if they just go in and assume you're already in a conversation about a specific thing and just cut out all the, hi, know who you are, what about this? And just go like, yeah, so what did you think about such and such? And just randomly come on to something.
And I could jump into that conversation. Yeah. That's no problem at all.
You don't like introductions. You hate introductions.
You don't like introductions or getting to know people. You just like knowing people.
Get into the flow of the conversation. Yeah. That makes life
straight into the meat.
An awful lot easier.
Should we get into the flow of the podcast?
My story today was a suggestion from a listener last year when I was in peak write-up mode. I think it was like from October. It was from ages ago. But luckily I saved it to my potential SWAC list.
Is it all the reasons Donald Trump can't win the election? I figure we can come back to it. It's fine.
There are some topical things that I've had to throw out because I didn't have time at the time. But this is a suggestion from Will, so thank you to Will. The product he sent us has been covered in lots of media, including The Independent and The Telegraph. But obviously it's much more fun to look at the Daily Mail coverage. I'm not going to talk too much about the media coverage, actually.
Well, we have to cover the Daily Mail coverage because Wikipedia won't these days.
Boom.
And we know that's because Wikipedia is run by weirdo gingerhead people who use Facebook and have 153 friends on Facebook. Did you see that story?
What?
I didn't see that story.
You didn't see that story?
No.
Oh, it was a ridiculous, crazy hit piece by the Daily Mail on Wikipedia. Specifically on one of the editors involved in the vote to say, should we stop using it? And it named the guy and then went to his Facebook and looked back through some of his posts and said, and the guy who's a weird gingerhead oddball who once shared a picture of such and such and a picture of such and he has 153 friends. You might think he's just a sad loner in his bedroom by himself, but actually he inhabits this strange, perverted world of the internet and Wikipedia. And it was a proper fucking, a proper like 2-footed takedown on a guy, just a private individual guy.
And oddly enough, the Wikipedia can't use that as evidence against him.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Daily Mail's not a reliable source anymore.
But it was saying about how it's a twisted platform used to push its own agenda. Wikipedia, not the Daily Mail, although they have an awful lot of experience in that department.
So the Daily Mail headline was, "Too good to be true, the beauty therapy chocolate to smooth wrinkles, increase blood flow and help skin look radiant." And then obviously there's bullet points underneath, which were visible effects in 3 weeks from eating 1 bar a day of Esthachock. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But
Esthachock?
Esthachock.
As in A-E-S-T?
No, E-S-T-H-E. Chock.
Okay, yeah, Esthachock. I was wondering if it was going down like an aesthetic kind of line, but perhaps not.
Product is only 38 calories per bar with a cocoa content of 72%. But a 7.5 gram bar is equivalent to just 1 square from a 45 gram dairy milk. Esther Chalk created from research originating at Cambridge University.
See, I've been put off this story because I thought initially when you said eating chocolate makes your wrinkles go away, it's just that if you eat enough, you get fat.
You get chubbier.
And then your wrinkles just kind of vanish as your body fleshes out. But it's low-calorie chocolate.
It's not. They say it's low calorie. It's only 38 calories per bar. 1 bar is 7.5 grams.
Which is not a lot of chocolate.
Which is about a teaspoon.
Yeah, this is a fucking Hershey's Kiss, isn't it?
They look like little after eights, little mini after eights.
Okay, after eights.
A little dinky piece of chocolate. So it's not. I mean, they call it a bar, but I wouldn't call it a bar really. So yes, we have a chocolate bar that is supposed to make you look younger. The Daily Mail article says the sweet treat will apparently smooth wrinkles, increase blood flow, and help skin look radiant. So according to the Telegraph article, the company producing the chocolate are a spin-off company from Cambridge University, and it's run by scientists. The company is called Cambridge Chocolate Technologies, and the website looks quite slick. They've obviously spent money on it. According to their website, the chocolate is the world's first nutri-cosmetic with a strong, scientifically proven impact on the metabolism of aging skin. It's quite a claim.
It is quite a claim.
It is.
A bold
Scientifically proven impact. Does that mean it has an impact factor?
Strong, scientifically proven impact.
Well, I think there's no more to be said.
They go on, a combination of highly potent active substances, hang on, give me a minute to practice this. Astaxanthin, the most powerful antioxidant known to science, and cocoa-polyphenolic epicatechins found naturally in chocolate.
They've only put those long words, so they can look, it's so sciencey. Look at all the words. Look at all these words.
So I'm going to ignore their claim that astaxanthin is the most powerful antioxidant known to science. It is a powerful antioxidant. Whether it really is the most powerful known to science isn't really the point, and they've offered zero evidence for that claim. It's just a throwaway comment without any solidity behind it, and I don't even know how you begin to go about making that claim in the first place. How can you possibly say this one antioxidant is the most powerful known to science? Who is science? Also on the website is a fairly in-depth science page where they talk about the evidence for their claims, apparently. From what I can glean, they're making several claims. I'm not sure they necessarily realise that these are all the claims that they're making because they don't back them all up. But these are the claims that I've managed to pick out from their webpage. Firstly, they're claiming that astaxanthin and epicatechins are good for your skin. From what I can gather, there is some published literature that suggests these two things might be good for your skin, particularly astaxanthin might be a good anti-inflammatory, particularly when applied topically.
Well, yeah, because good for your skin is kind of a meaningless claim in itself. Well, what does good for your skin mean? Does it improve collagen production? Is it an anti-inflammatory?
Yeah.
What do you actually mean good for your skin?
They're not particularly specific in their claims. Quite a lot. I'll come back to it. They don't really make a clear claim. They make a very vague claim about things being good or being better and not actually telling you much about it. But they do refer to it being anti-inflammatory, and from what I've seen in the literature, it may be anti-inflammatory. Next, they make the claim that sometimes it's better to get some things from the diet and not from supplements. This claim they make but don't back up at all. They just make this flippant comment as if, of course it makes sense that you would get things from your food better.
But it is better to get stuff from your diet rather than supplements because it means you don't have to go out and buy supplements.
Correct.
And often people who buy supplements end up taking too much of a thing and then getting no benefit from it. The body just naturally excretes that and you've wasted all that money on very expensive urine. Yeah. So you're better off.
Or indeed overdose.
Or indeed overdose if overdose is possible on it. Absolutely, on the particular thing.
That's not the claim they're making. The claim is that you get more from your food. It is more efficient to get it from your food. It is easier to take in the supplement from your food.
But that doesn't make any sense. I mean, where it's coming from doesn't really matter. To a degree, surely it's the amount that you're taking in is going to be the biggest factor on how much you've got in you.
They say they mean supplementation through tablets or capsules, and their explanation is basically, well, we digest food, not capsules. But that's not how it works. Tablet supplements and capsule supplements have loads of benefits in terms of just general taking in the substance. Firstly, we know what the dose is, which, to be fair, is true of their chocolate because they've put a known amount in.
Yeah.
And we can assess how the body absorbs it. So we know we've got variables that we can consider there. it doesn't rely on your ability to digest things or your complement of digestive enzymes, which might be the case for food. We all know the example of lactose intolerance, where you don't have the enzyme to break down the sugar. So there's that problem. Capsules tend to just rely on the capsule dissolving. It's just the fact that it's in a liquid, it's in your stomach, it's in your digestive system. The capsule dissolves, the substance is released, you absorb it directly.
Yes.
There's no breakdown or digestion required, and so it's much easier to absorb the contents of the tablet.
Yeah, I mean, the capsule is just a delivery mechanism for the liquid that's inside that has all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
Well, because it turns out that when we design capsules and pills, we design something that's going to break down inside a human digestive system.
And be absorbed
so
easily.
we can absorb it. That's we took that into account when we designed pills.
Yeah. And so I think there are some things that are better absorbed from food. I haven't got the literature to hand, but I think I have heard before that for certain things, they're better taken up if they're digested in a particular way. That's not going to be super common, and I don't know how they could possibly back up the claim that they're making here that, oh well, it's just better because we don't digest capsules. That's just not how it works.
I mean, we spent a lot of time, like when we were developing capsules, making people swallow plastic. We had them swallowing bits of brick. It just wasn't working.
We even had them, and this was ridiculous. We had them swallowing those like packing peanut crate type things.
That's an absurd thing to do.
Ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous,
absurd thing to do.
The next claim is all to do with micelles. So they reckon that the absorption rate of I'm struggling again. I've said it fine earlier in the piece. Of astaxanthin and epicatechins isn't so good.
Epicatechin. It's called Epic at Tekken, as in the PlayStation beat 'em up.
They probably reckon it's pronounced epicatechin, but
that was like the sneak preview of the PlayStation beat 'em up.
So they reckon that they can improve the absorption rate of these by wrapping them in lipids, which in terms of the science does actually make sense. And we use it in getting things into cells in the lab as well. So micelles are just a little lipid bilayer. So you have phospholipids of phosphate group and then two lipid tails, and you have two layers of them, one on the outside, one on the inside, and then they form this little bubble that you can then put things inside. And so it's hydrophobic because it's lipid. The outside of your cells is also made up of a lipid bilayer. And so the hydrophobic micelles can get through the lipid bilayer because they're also hydrophobic.
Well, that's how you think cells work. But throwing forward, I've got a different theory in my piece. So we'll see another cell expert at work.
Good. Okay. So the idea is you've got a hydrophobic surface trying to keep things out of the cell, but you're putting something hydrophobic in, and so it absorbs into the cell better or absorbs between the cells better. So this actually might mean it can get into your cells better, or say between the epithelial cells of the gut. It doesn't necessarily help your cells use it, nor does it target it to the right location. Maybe this chocolate gives you some lovely youthful gut cells, but does absolutely nothing for your face.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a very good point.
Got a 6-year-old. Look at him.
And then they make claims about the bioavailability and effectiveness of the chocolate. So they cover this with their clinical trial, which hasn't been published in a peer-reviewed journal, which is important to bear in mind. Here they talk about a 4-week trial where they compared the ester chocolate to regular dark chocolate, astaxanthin capsules alone, and regular dark chocolate with astaxanthin capsules combined. They do point out that all ester choc and control chocolate groups were double-blind. The dark chocolate with astaxanthin capsules group was open label. 2 control astaxanthin capsule groups were also double-blind. So basically, there's no placebo pill here. The combined chocolate and astaxanthin has to be open rather than blind because they didn't have an inert tablet to give them because it wasn't really a clinical trial. So it's not properly blinded, but still. They say they make 3 main assessments. Firstly, pharmacokinetics. They say, we proved that ester choc is able to result in the highest level of blood astaxanthin, higher than any of the tested astaxanthin capsules. It was 59% higher than the best alternative, a supplement containing an even higher astaxanthin dose, with an exclamation mark at the end. Really pisses me off when people put exclamation marks in professional things. Next, they say they assessed pharmacodynamics by looking at biomarkers representing metabolic processes related to oxidative stress. So they measured the levels of a reactive oxygen species called, here we go again, I didn't practice this one, malondialdehyde.
That's not bad. Sounds about right.
Malondialdehyde. And so it was 72% lower. They don't say than what, which was better than the products it was compared to. No idea what they've compared it to here. They're really vague on how much better it is to the capsules, and they've not said, are they comparing it to an untreated wing? They don't seem to have an untreated wing, so it's 72% better than one of their, presumably the normal chocolate alone, but why would that make sense? Why wouldn't they do it to something else? They've not explained it at all. Without proper publication, there's so many questions on how they tested it, what the methods were, even numbers. They randomly mention the number 3,000 people somewhere in their literature on their website. No idea what that refers to, whether that's this trial that they're talking about, whether that they tested 3,000 people, or whether that's just something that they've done in like pre-testing, because they say that this is based on research from the university. This might be something complete. This might be from a study just about astaxanthin and nothing to do with the chocolate at all. So I've no idea what the numbers are, no idea what the methods are, absolutely nothing. Next, they looked at skin and tissue oxygen levels, claiming that, again, the Choc results were far better than any of the products it was compared to. Super vague.
They didn't say what it was, nothing about what it was compared to.
That's ridiculous.
We compared it to a raw onion. It was much better than a raw onion at delivering lipid missiles.
Never mind that they have major conflicts of interest. They'd already produced the product and then they're testing it. Of course they want it to look good, the product's better. They're giving people the Choc as their clinical trial. They've designed, produced, researched, whatever, this product that they've then made. They want it to do well. Of course they want it to do well. It does seem like maybe the science is quite interesting, but without seeing the methods and results, I have no idea whether what they claim is true, only that it's technically plausible. But hey, maybe we could go for it based on technically plausible, because chocolate isn't really harmful to most people. And maybe it isn't, but a big question is how much it costs. So it comes in 7.5 gram servings, which is a little over a teaspoon. They sort of look like these little after eights, and they come in a pack of 21. So enough for 3 weeks.
Okay.
The pack of 21 costs £42.50.
Jesus.
You need 18 boxes to fill up a year, so that's £765 for a year.
Good Lord. Be even more if you got out the vending machine at the office.
Depends. It might be a broken vending machine that spits out 2 little packs and doesn't charge you anything.
That's true. That is true.
Per year. On the off chance that it might possibly make you look a little bit younger. The amount you're getting per month is the equivalent to 5 1/4 Karamak bars.
Nice. Okay.
Which would cost a little over £3.
Yeah.
I had to Google how much Karamak bars cost, because I've never bought a Karamak bar before.
No one has.
The golden creamy bar, Alice. You want to get some Karamak.
I also had to Google how much they weigh, because I don't think I've ever seen one in
35 grams.
Is it 35 grams?
I was basing it on 30 grams.
They also do a 30-gram bar. That's true.
I saw the 30-gram
You
bar.
went for the 30-gram bar.
I think they probably used to do a 35-gram bar, but
it's probably
Brexit
now a
in
30.
It's a 30-gram bar.
So I don't really have a snappy answer on this one. It's someone trying to sell something using science, semi-plausible but not fully tested science. They're certainly trying to use their science background and the Cambridge University name to sound as legit as they can, but ultimately it's a business trying to sell something. So without peer-reviewed data, I don't really trust it.
So you guys might remember the last episode. I told you all about the worrying spate of woo events that we've seen taking place at university facilities all across the country.
Yeah.
I mentioned the Society of Homeopaths and their AGM that's taken place at Oxford Uni. That's been a story that kind of blew up a little bit.
We're just like berating universities today.
We basically are. It's all I've spent the last...
Cambridge and Oxford.
It's all I spent the last kind of week or two doing, basically. I mean, that story in particular blew up a little bit. It got coverage in the Times, the Independent, the Times Higher Education, and 2 separate student university newspapers at the University of Oxford, which is quite amusing. But it wasn't just the University of Oxford. You know, there were other universities in the firing line as well, renting space to woo events, including Regent's University at London, which I kind of mentioned last week. Fortunately, Regents confirmed that they'd be cancelling the event that we were concerned about, and they'd take care in future as to who they rent their event space to. And that was great. So imagine my surprise when, after the coverage hit the papers, I got contacted by someone pointing me to the following event. Lifestyle Prescriptions Live Forum. from leading voices in lifestyle and integrative medicine for healthcare professionals passionate about root cause diagnosis and solutions, March 11th, 2017, at Regent's University, London.
There's lots of alarm bells in there.
There are a lot of alarm bells in there. There's a lot of red flags when you see, when you start studying quackery, you spot a lot of those red flags. I mean, this is what they describe themselves. The Lifestyle Prescriptions Forum brings together leading voices in the field of lifestyle and integrative medicine to inspire and education healthcare providers to add lifestyle medicine into their practices.
I think it's important to education lifestyle
I think
providers.
It's very, very important. To make it worse, the words lifestyle medicine are always capitalised anywhere you see them. And when they see lifestyle prescriptions, that always got a little registered trademark after it every time it's written.
Okay.
Flag, 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 flag. Lots of flags all over this. Looking at the rest, I kind of bump off their website. Our inaugural London UK Live Forum will focus on the research and the benefits of lifestyle medicine. I've got 4 bullet points here. Treating the root cause, improving compliance and health outcomes, lowering healthcare costs, and how to use green and lifestyle prescriptions. Capital G for green lifestyle prescriptions with a little registered trademark. It says, who's it for? It's for doctors, nurses, naturopaths, nutritionists, chiropractors, nurse practitioners, health coaches, dietitians, energy psychology therapists, yoga teachers, and other traditional and complementary health professionals.
What's a health coach?
I don't know.
It's not like the Brexit bus, is it?
I think it might be.
We just write lines on the side and drive it around.
Yeah, we can do 350 sit-ups a week after we leave the gym. Once we stop going to the gym, we can afford to do 350 sit-ups a week. You're not going to, though, are you? You're just not going to. I mean, you can say you're going to, but you're not going to. You'll stop going to the gym and you'll stop doing anything. You won't get that extra benefit. It'll just stop. It's not a good sign from looking at their website of the event that it's entirely impossible to get what the event's about. If you look into their detail, just no details seem to be there. I mean, look, it says, what are green and lifestyle prescriptions? Valid question. Here we go. Green prescriptions are based on the newest research in lifestyle medicine, showing that stress management, nutrition, fitness and social support can reverse a majority of chronic health issues. Lifestyle prescriptions, registered trademark, allows for laser-sharp habit and behaviour improvements by knowing root cause emotions, stress triggers and beliefs affecting specific symptoms and consequently stimulating the natural healing process and auto-regulation.
So you are to blame for your chronic illness. Your bad habits are to blame for why you feel bad.
That's exactly true, Alice. That is exactly true. If you wondered who you'd see if you went along to this event, okay, there's at least 4 speakers. They're not being very heavy on the details. There's at least 4 speakers, and I spotted a couple of them here. One is Dr. Rob Lawson, BSc, MBCHB, MRCGP, FRCGP, General and Lifestyle Medical Practitioner, Chairman of the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine.
Okay.
The Chairman of the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine, no less. You know, that's got to be a hell of a coup for an event like this. You know, it sounds incredibly grand until you recognise that, as far as I can tell, the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine is a Facebook page with 70 likes and is also a charity that was registered on the 21st of October with the Scottish Charity Register. So it's existed for all of about 4 months
right,
and has gone 70 likes on Facebook and doesn't appear to be anything else. But he is giving a talk entitled Lifestyle Medicine, Back to the Future. And it says, aspects of conventional medicine could be seen to be veering us off the path to healthy longevity, at least according to the statistics. That children born today should have a lesser healthy life expectancy than their parents is a legacy no reasonable society should expect.
It's also not fucking true.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't expect that because it's not true.
No.
It is not true. Lifestyle medicine can prevent, contain, and probably reverse up to 80% of long-term conditions afflicting the planet's citizens.
Okay. 80% of long-term conditions.
Probably reverse that. Probably.
Okay.
I mean, prevent or reverse 80% of them. I guess we just got to hope that all the biggies are in the other 20%, like all the big serious ones are the other 20% that it doesn't touch. He goes on, it's clearly the best medicine we've got. The presentation today will introduce you to lifestyle medicine. You'll hear about the determinants of 21st century diseases which need to be acknowledged both at individual and societal levels. Having an understanding of these determinants will help you explore with your patients the remedies which best match their needs. It's gobbledygook. It's just like, we'll tell you stuff, and that stuff's important stuff, and you can use that stuff to do things with people. You know, and then you've got another talk entitled Example of Root Cause Analysis and Lifestyle Prescriptions in My Practice. That's by a lady called Anna Gedje, who's a Bowen therapist. an energy psychology practitioner, a lifestyle prescriptions health coach, and trainer. So you know that's the kind of responsible healthcare advice that you'd expect hosted at a fucking university. And then you have another of the speakers, Johannes R. Fisslinger. He's the founder of Lifestyle Prescriptions Foundation and the Meta Health University.
Right, Meta Health.
Meta Health, not just health. Meta Health. Health about health
Yes.
is all I can issue. How healthy is your health? Don't know. I'm going to get some Meta Health. Don't know. He's the founder of a university that has Meta Health. What is Meta Health? Never explained. Never explained anywhere, as best as I can tell. But his talk is entitled A New Emerging Health Paradigm. We like them. We like new emerging paradigms. Those are the best types of paradigms. And his blurb. What are green and lifestyle prescriptions? And how can they help health professionals to integrate lifestyle medicine and root cause diagnosis and solutions into their health practices? Johannes will lay out how we as a community can evolve healthcare, improve compliance and health outcomes, and reduce costs drastically. Again, it's all just lofty goals with no detail. It sounds like a fucking Trump rally. It's got that level of kind of like, this is all the great things I'm going to do. And I'm not going to tell you any of the details because I don't know them.
Yeah.
Still, at least the tickets to this event are cheap. It's just £15 to attend in person, or it's free if you want to watch the online streams. So you can do that this weekend. You can watch all the online streams. But there's a bit of a rub, because the live forum is mainly a recruiting tool for the online summit, which is going to take place from June the 1st to June the 7th. And it says here that on their website, the Lifestyle Medicine Summit is an online event that your subscribers can attend for free. For 7 days, your attendees will watch and listen to 3 world-class expert presentations per day, and they'll get specific lifestyle modifications that they can use right away in their life. So if you go to the forum, you can then go to the summit, you can see the summit online and get real-world information, tips that you can use right away in your life. What might those tips cover? Doesn't say. At least not on the page about the summit. If you dig around the website a bit, you find a page called the Affiliates page, which boasts that you can earn 50% of commission. Commission on what, given that everything so far has been free? Well, each presentation will be free to watch for 24 hours, but because of the life-changing content and protocols, a high percentage of attendees will upgrade and purchase the Summit Lifestyle Prescriptions registered trademark package. We'll come to that in a moment. And then we find out what the useful everyday tips that you're going to take away. These are things that you can apply in your life right away. So the topics during the summit, it says here, will include root cause solutions on how to prevent and heal diabetes, heart disease, obesity, autoimmune disease, cancer, and many other health issues.
So the biggies aren't in the other 20%?
They're in the 80%.
Okay.
So it actually says on the website that attendees will be totally empowered and walk away with step-by-step and practical protocols and solutions to improve their health and life on those issues. And it even points out all presentations are 100% content without sales pitches. They're focused on giving very specific step-by-step instructions to help increase awareness of root causes, improve vitality, stimulate the self-healing mechanism, and increase longevity.
Right.
Which will cure your cancer, yeah?
Yeah.
People who watch this will have their cancer cured.
See, because there's a reason that you've got those big topics that we always get very annoyed when alternative health practitioners start banging on about them. Things like cancer, diabetes, HIV, because those are the things that, if you fuck about, are going to kill you.
Yeah.
If you fuck about with the way you are treating things like diabetes, cancer, HIV, you will kill somebody.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
That's the reason we get worked up about this stuff.
Yeah, and it's, I see that in my job. I see that work for good thinking. We hear from people who are like, yeah, my mum had cancer. She was told alternative health could cure her. She's dead. It's horrible. So yeah, we come back to this kind of, this is such life-changing content that people want to purchase and upgrade. If people want to keep a hold of access to the audio and the video presentations after the day, they can pay $97 for access, $97 for access, or $197 for a special diamond package with extended access, of which the affiliate gets $78.80. So there's a clear incentive for affiliates to encourage their customers to sign up for these free videos on how to reverse their diabetes and cancer. So this affiliates page is kind of aimed at people with an online audience or with an audience already to say, send people our way and we'll bung you $80 for the privilege. But most people won't do that, right? Most people won't actually spend a penny. They'll go to the summit for free and that's it. Well, if they do, it's then aimed at getting people to attend the Lifestyle Prescriptions Bootcamp. Details of that. The Lifestyle Prescriptions Bootcamp uses a highly targeted root cause diagnosis and solutions process to help you become aware of the deeper meaning of your symptoms. And our professional health coaches will guide you all the way to make the changes you need to make. The costs of that are published on the affiliates page, not on the bootcamp page.
Okay.
Because the affiliate's getting 50% or up to 50%. It says here, starting the 25th of June, will open enrollment for the 3-month online Lifestyle Prescriptions Bootcamp based on lifestyle medicine and root cause analysis principles. Attendees will get a total health makeover using the Lifestyle Prescriptions root cause analysis and solutions. They'll learn about biopsychosocial connections, which stresses are causing their health or life challenges, and use targeted lifestyle modifications to lose weight, feel vital, and energized.
Bollocks. This is all bollocks.
Well, it's not bollocks because it costs $333 for 3 months.
For 3 months of bollocks.
For $333 a month for 3 months.
So $999.
Of which the affiliates receive $400 for every single person they can convince to sign up for it.
Good God.
So now you're starting to see what this forum actually is.
Yeah.
The live forum is a chance to get all those potential affiliates together and then send them off to tell all of their customers, all of their subscribers to their blogs and their newsletters to do this because they'll start getting kickbacks. So you get about 390 quid for each one. And then you see the long list of past affiliates who've taken advantage of this scheme on previous conferences and other type of meetings of theirs. People like Dawson Church of EFT Universe, Ocean Robbins of Food Revolution.
EFT, the emotional freedom technique.
Tap,
yeah, the
tap,
tappy thing, yeah.
I watched a couple of the videos from the 2014. There's little segments of the videos, like 8 minutes or 3 minute segments. And there's a lady who's so overcome when she's starting to give her presentation. She's like, oh, that last talk, it was so emotional. Can people tap for me? Because I'm feeling so overwhelmed right now. And she starts tapping her collarbone and getting people in the audience to tap their collarbones in order to calm down her emotional stresses. So we got Dawson Church of EFT Universe, Ocean Robbins of Food Revolution, and David Avocado Wolf.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's a past one. He's not the only odd character to come up when you start digging into the people around this little scheme. For instance, I said Johannes Fisslinger. He set up the Meta Health University in 2013. 2014, they had a conference in Solihull near Birmingham, which I guess is similar in style to the one that was on this weekend. One of the keynote speakers there was Lynn McTaggart, editor of What Doctors Don't Tell You.
Don't Tell You, yes.
I wonder if we'll see any attempts at getting affiliate marketing through the What Doctors Don't Tell You marketing channels. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It also featured a guy called Kwesi Anand Odom. He's a specialist apparently in integrative medicine, meta health, astro medicine, Lusher colour diagnostic and therapy, hypnotherapy, homeopathy, and pentadesign.
Pentadesign?
I don't know what that is.
That's a new one.
So is Lusher colour diagnostic. Well, probably colour diagnostic. What the hell's astro medicine?
It's curing the dog from the Jetsons.
It is. That's true. And then there's a lady called Penny Kroll. She's the one who was like doing the tapping to talk about thing.
Yeah. In fairness, I tap things to like handle emotional stress as well, but I tap the Rhythm of the Master from Doctor Who.
Right.
That generally helps me. I've done that since that episode aired, which was 2007. So 10 years now, I just randomly start tapping 4 beats on things. Sometimes it freaks Alice out.
It does.
I don't notice it.
Freak me out.
I don't notice it. Then there's a lady called Penny Kroll. She was the one who did all the tapping. She gave a talk looking at what cancer is. And apparently she went into the biology of a cancer cell. It was called Working with Cancer and Serious Diseases.
Oh, that's so annoying, that dis-ease thing. That dis-hyphen, it's dis-ease, it's dis-ease, like not ease.
Not ease, not to ease.
Fuck off.
Here's the blurb from her talk. Many practitioners shy away from cancer and other serious diseases. Penny will guide you through the biological process of cancer as a cell and will explore what it is and what it does.
I want to see that talk.
Yeah, well, you'd have to pay $97, I think. She will look at beliefs and fears around the diagnosis and will help you to find a way to explain the process simply to clients. So she's encouraging practitioners to start talking cancer with their patients.
Okay.
Luckily, she's ideally placed to describe the inner workings of a cancer cell because, as her website explains, Penny's proven techniques include neuro-linguistic programming,
fuck off.
emotional freedom technique, psych-care, don't know what that is.
Okay.
Modality she used to heal herself of Bell's palsy. She's also a certified AMT master, an AMET emotional freedom technique trainer, matrix re-imprinting trainer, and one of only 3 Meta Health master trainers in the UK. She's a proud representative of AAMET, the regulatory body of Meridian Energy Therapists. So she'll be talking about why you should be treating
never looked
cancer.
at a cancer cell.
Not that I can tell. So yeah, I'd quite like to see that video presentation, but unfortunately there's only a bit of it on YouTube. And then there's the talk from Dagfrid Kolas. She said she cured herself from breast cancer naturally using meta-healing techniques. And she tells people to do the same. According to an investigation by Norwegian TV station TV2, in 2006, Else-Marit Fjeldheim was suffering from cancer at the time, and the investigation reports after she got cancer, Else-Marit came into contact with the theories of the German ex-doctor Rika Gerd Hemer. Hemer has hundreds of followers in Europe, and now the cult-like movement is also trying to gain a foothold on the West Coast. Bent Madsen is central to the meta-medicine movement in Bergen, together with Dagfrid Kolas, author of a book called Hope. It was these two people who Else-Marit came in contact with in 2006. Her brother said the worst thing was that they went so hard against using medicine and warned against it, and that made matters worse. So they were advising this lady not to take chemotherapy. Another TV2 report highlights another case of Agnete Vosgaard, who was offered chemotherapy but chose instead to rely on alternative therapists, including Dagfrid Kolas. Agnete's mother, Gunvor Vosgaard, said, "I begged and cried, and so did her friends too, but it was no use." And then finally, Tore Birkeland was another case highlighted by TV2. He died at the age of 46 after refusing cancer treatment on the advice of his alternative practitioners, Dagfrid Kolas and Bent Madsen, both of whom have spoken at the Mental Health Conference in Solihull. Malin Birkeland, his daughter, said, "My father got advice to stop the treatment because it would not work, and that chemo contained mustard gas." This is what he was told by those two.
I've heard that one a few times recently.
Yeah, I've heard that a bit
contains mustard gas, yeah.
To stress, Kolas isn't scheduled to speak at Regents this year, but she did speak at the event in 2014 put on by precisely the same group. And that's just a cursory look into a few of the claims of just some of the previous speakers. I suspect if I looked further at these ones and the ones who were down for the summit, I'd find even more. I even had a chance to look at some of the brochure material for the Meta Health system. It's effectively based on the belief that almost all illnesses are caused by negative emotion and stress, and that there is a direct link between the mind and the function of each organ. You know, what you're thinking, your emotions affect each organ. There's this training video that gets practitioners to encourage their clients to ask themselves emotional questions. For instance, they claim that chronic sinusitis is caused by the patient having something in their life that's upsetting them. And so they have to get the patient to ask themselves, what don't I want to smell in my life?
What?
They mean smell figuratively and literally.
I mean, Alice has literally got her head in her hands
You
right
are facepalm right now. They're saying that if you've got chronic sinusitis, it's your body's way of saying there's something around you don't want in your life. You're upset by something around you, and that's either negative emotions or negative situations around you, or even just a bad smell.
Or people talking bollocks about healthcare. That's something I'd rather wasn't around me right now.
Yeah.
This isn't just dangerous bollocks, though. It also stops people. It encourages people to not go to the doctors.
Yeah, it does.
Because it encourages them to say, well, maybe I feel bad, or maybe it's just something I'm feeling and it's a negative emotion, and maybe I can talk myself out of going to the doctors by thinking I'm just worried about stuff and I'm stressed about stuff.
Yeah, if not talk myself, then start doing EFT and tapping therapy and all these kinds of things. I mean, one of the organisers of the London event, a lady by the name of Emma Palacio, claims that in one of her blogs that she met a client whose conjunctivitis was actually caused by her fears of being away from her new boyfriend early in a relationship. She's going to go away for work a little bit and she didn't want to be away from a new boyfriend, and that's why she got conjunctivitis caused by the emotional stress.
Yeah.
I guess that she wanted to carry on seeing him. I don't know. Typical treatments they talk about involve energy medicine and tapping therapy, i.e. doing nothing at all. They're proponents of functional medicine, which is where the Gerd Hemer thing comes in. He was all about functional medicine and Germanic medicine, new functional medicine. That typically involves homeopathy, orthomolecular medicine, detoxification, anti-vaccination, nutritional interventions, and more. It's kind of a clusterfuck of woo, basically. This is a group that seemingly think they can wish away illness, and that they say they can reverse things like diabetes and cancer. And while they're giving away their first one free, they quickly work to a position where they're charging many hundreds of pounds for their disproven ideologies to the people most likely to believe them and need them. In fact, the ultimate goal is to encourage new practitioners at the forum to take on their training courses and becoming Meta Health Trainer, Meta Health Master, which takes around 240 hours to complete online and costs $5,000. And these are the types of people that, yet again, Regents University have gotten into bed with. They simply have to do better than this.
So we got time for just one listener question this week. This question came in from Neil, who said, "Hi, Mike Marsh and no brackets Alice." We've had lots of people writing in saying, "Hi, Alice, brackets and Mike and Marsh."
They have done that as well.
That's been quite a good
And
one.
someone said, "Hi, Dr. Alice, brackets and her unqualified colleagues."
Yes,
Yeah.
which is the most technically accurate description of this show.
That is true. That is true.
That we've had so far.
Eventually, we'll ride through that backlash wave into a place where we're just not bracketed at all, and we're just all people.
We're just all treated
We all count.
as individuals.
That's fine.
So Neil wrote, "I agree with the premise of discouraging homeopathy events at academic institutions for the reasons you debated." Quite a timely question, Marsh, because it follows on from what you've just been talking about. He says, "You were also mentioning the other types of events that Lady Margaret Hall offered, and weddings caught my attention. I was wondering what your thoughts were on religious wedding ceremonies held at such venues, and if you judge them in the same light as homeopathy conventions, given science's obvious scepticism with religion, or would you see them as acceptable, given that they will be private ceremonies, not advertised elsewhere, and therefore not promote any connection with the university or academia in general to the wider public? Having said that, the couple's wedding records, photos, etc. will carry the name of the university, plus friends and family who will undoubtedly spread the word, will forever associate the ceremony with the venue. Keep up the good work." Neil! So, universities, places like Lady Margaret Hall, hosting religious wedding ceremonies, is that the same thing as they're hosting a homeopathy conference?
I don't think it is at all.
I don't think it is at all either.
For a couple of reasons for me. One, you can't study homeopathy at Lady Margaret Hall. You can study theology there. It's Oxford University is one of the sort of foremost places to study Christian theology in Britain, if not the world.
Sure.
So that at least there is, that's
They
the religious
are
wedding.
already loaning their reputation
Exactly. Yeah.
in a much bigger way than by hosting somebody's wedding.
But I also think that even if you accept my premise that by hosting a homeopathy conference they confer legitimacy on homeopathy, I don't think that's true of saying if they host a religious wedding they're conferring legitimacy to a religious ceremony.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're conferring legitimacy on the marriage. It's not like, well, the Lady Margaret Hall who'll forever be associated with John and Sheila's wedding. It won't be that way. I think in that case they typically would use those spaces because they look nice.
Yeah.
I don't think the wedding seeks out Lady Margaret Hall in order to get that legitimacy.
No,
I do think that's true of the homeopaths.
Generally, you seek out a room that's big enough to have everyone who you want to invite your wedding
And looks nice on the photo.
Big enough and pretty.
And you can afford.
Yeah, big enough, affordable,
and
pretty.
like
That's
that.
what you look for. So I think that's totally legitimate. And pretty much at this point, weddings, I would say, are even fairly religious weddings, are largely divorced from the fundamentals of the religion and are now just a social function.
Yeah.
I have no problem with a wedding table.
Even if it was like a full-on religious wedding, I think that the key difference for me is that the general public will not associate a Christian ceremony taking place at a university as the university endorsing Christianity.
Yeah, or as an academic pursuit.
It won't be something that in the mind of the general public they will not see one as conferring legitimacy on the other, whereas they would see a homeopathy conference being held at an academic institution as, well, a university wouldn't host it if it was all bullshit, now would they? It would confer that. So it's kind of the ASA test of what would a reasonable member of the public think. And I think a reasonable member of the public would not see a wedding as being held at an institution as the institution conferring legitimacy on the technicalities of the ceremony. Yeah. Whereas I think it would be the case with a homeopathy conference or a chiropractic conference or whatever kind of choose pseudoscience of your choice. It would be perceived by the general public as the institution endorses what is being promoted at this conference.
I think it goes beyond the general public as well. Is that certainly right on that? But I think there's also the in-group implications. The homeopaths who attend the Society of Homeopathy meeting at Oxford University, I think would take that as would take it implicitly as this is something, look how legitimate we are, look how serious we are.
Sure.
It's not just about what the general public would say, but that emboldens the idea of homeopathy and we meet at science museums and we meet at university buildings, and because we are medicine practitioners, we are healthcare practitioners, we are out there, we can go off to Africa and start giving this to people with AIDS because we've got this kind of storied background, got this. So I think it's the legitimacy not just to the public but to the people attending. And I don't think anybody who's attending the wedding will go, I'm an academic now because I got married at a university. I don't think anybody will take it that way. So yeah, I've a lot more leeway on that. And I also suspect the span of religious weddings is so broad. I think even the people who have a fairly religious wedding, it's not that religious often, or when it is, they are less religious than the wedding. I mean, friends of mine who've had very religious weddings come away and they aren't particularly religious, and I disagree with that as a totally separate issue. And we need to secularize that wedding down to the level that they're at, so everybody's is not getting force fed God that they don't want. But yeah, I just think it's not quite the same thing, really.
So if you've got a question that you'd like us to talk about in listener questions, you can send that through, as you can with any email, of course, through to podcast@merseysandskeptics.org.uk. I say any email, not emails for other people.
That would be
emails
weird.
that are meant for us. Come to podcast@merseysandskeptics.
And not like nasty. If you've got death threats and stuff, keep them. Don't want them.
I mean, or send them to someone else.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, who do you think they should send death threats to, Mike?
Let's not encourage people to send death threats anywhere.
So, listeners might remember the last few years we have taken part in a charity walk, the Merseyside Skeptics charity walk, where we go on a long walk until our feet hurt. Sometimes we catch Pokemon on the way. And we do that to raise money for charity. And listeners to the show have donated very generously to our charity walk efforts in the past,
that is true,
which has been very good. So this year we thought we'd try and involve the listeners to the show a little bit more in the Merseyside Skeptics charity walk, if it's something that you want to support. So what we're going to do is we've instead of just picking a charity that we think is awesome, we've picked a couple of charities,
5 in fact,
that we think are awesome. And what we're going to do is we're going to narrow it down to a short list, and then we're going to get listeners to the show to vote on which charity they think we should support with our charity walk this year, just as a way trying to improve engagement that our listeners have on that.
Well, we've currently got 5 polling on our Twitter.
It's up on our Twitter page.
Yeah.
Well, we did have, but it's closed now.
It's closed now. So we had 5 split across 2 tweets. We had Amnesty International, Liberty Human Rights, Merseyrail Refugee Support, Whitechapel Homeless Centre, and Parkinson's UK.
Okay.
Split across 2 polls, and then next week I'm going to put up the 2 that win.
So you'll be able to vote on that on our Twitter page, which is twitter.com/Mersey Skeptics, or just @Mersey Skeptics. If you're not following us, you should go.
We've had loads of votes on the ones we've had already. We've got over 90 votes on the first 2,
which is nice.
Pretty good.
So if you're interested in that, if you want to engage on that, if you've got a really burning desire for us to support one of those charities, you can go to our Twitter page. We'll probably pin the tweet up at the top of our Twitter page, actually, so you guys can get to it.
Yes, we'll do that. That's a good idea.
Get to it readily. So we'll leave it up to you guys who we're going to walk in support of.
Yeah.
And later in the year, we'll be opening up a Just Giving page, so you guys can donate in support of our walk, and we'll go off and we'll do the walk.
Do the wandering.
Probably not going to be doing a lot of Pokemoning this year. That's kind of been and gone, the Pokemon
No, it
Go
hasn't.
thing.
I'm still Pokemoning.
Yeah, but you're like the only one I know who still
I
is.
think I am, yeah. But they've released the second generation of Pokemon now, and they're dead cute.
Yeah, it's going to have. It'll be a
They
little.
brought out the baby ones, and
They're desperately trying to stay relevant, is what they're doing. Desperately trying to stay relevant.
They've got a very boring game engine.
you liked it before.
Yeah, but I got bored of it.
Well, that just says something about your persistence.
It says something about the persistence of 90% of their users as they've dropped off by getting bored of the game engine. So yeah, there's that. There's also I've been on a few of the podcasts. We mentioned George Hrave's podcast, but I was on.
You're on Geologic. The thing about the Geologic 500 episode 500 is I don't think it's going out as a podcast.
No, so maybe they won't use that, but
it's just
he
up
might.
on his Facebook page. So you can go to George's Facebook page, and it's split across several videos, and you're in the first video, Mark.
I'm in the first video.
So you could go through and watch that.
I was also on Serious Inquiries Only. where we had a long, in-depth discussion about how to converse with people you disagree with.
People you disagree with.
Yeah, so that was quite an interesting discussion.
Interviewed
Robert Price.
Bob Price.
It's worth listening to the interview with Robert Price. Robert Price, the Bible scholar and ardent Trump supporter and Republican, about why he still thinks Trump is doing a fantastic job and was the right man for the job. His logic. It's a Be Reasonable show. Yeah. It's an episode of Be Reasonable with all the logical consistency one would expect of a guest on Be Reasonable. We've also got an episode of Be Reasonable coming up soon as well.
We have. That's going to be going out next week.
So keep an eye out for that.
Keep an eye out for that. One's going to be exciting. Also next week is Liverpool Skeptics in the Pub, which is going to be Julian Doyle. Now, Julian Doyle has written a book called Crucifixion's a Doddle, which is about what he learned about the crucifixion. Julian Doyle is the film editor on Monty Python's Life of Brian. And so as a result of the work he did on Life of Brian, he kind of got interested in the crucifixion and went off and did a lot of research on that and has now written a book on that. So Julian's going to be coming along and talking to us about that. So that's going to be interesting. That is going to be in the Vines on Lime Street from 7:30 p.m. On March 16th. So if you're in the Liverpool area, you should come along to that.
Yeah.
I think you've also, Marsh, you've been on cognitive dissonance as well recently, haven't you?
Was that since the last episode?
It is since the last episode. You were on cognitive dissonance.
I was talking about.
Have you just replaced going and talking around the country with podcasting?
Just appearing on various people's podcasts.
Maybe, although I am in Glasgow at the end of the month, so I'm also going to do that. I'm in Berlin in the middle of the month, but not to do any talks. So if you're in Berlin and you see me, say hello. But I won't be making plans to see you because I'm with Nicola and she wants a break with just the two of us. But no, I've been enjoying appearing on lots of different kind of podcasts and things.
Podcast tour. You're working on appearing on the most podcasts of any individual on the planet.
There's a lot so far. I think I've been on a lot now.
As you have already, surely have stolen the record from Chris French for appearing at the most Skeptics.
Yeah, smash that, mate, smashed it. No, so I was on cognitive dissonance, and I think we mentioned Talk Nerdy on the show before that.
Yes,
so
you Talk Nerdy. Yeah.
I'm around. If you listen to podcasts, I'm probably on it. Whichever one it is,
That's
probably
true.
on it. So
That's
there you
true.
go.
Aside from that, I think that is all we have time for.
I think so.
All that remains then is for me to thank Marsh for coming along today.
Cheers.
And thank you to Alice.
Thank you.
We have been Skeptics with a K, and we will see you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
Skeptics with a K is a production of the Merseyside Skeptics Society. For more information, visit our website www.merseysideskeptics.org.uk or email podcast@merseysideskeptics.org.uk.